Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the BMX Show. We actually have a few interesting guests today. We're excited about today's episode. I actually don't want to delve too much into the background, because I actually want to give everybody have the time to actually give us more details about themselves. But without further ado, to the far left of the camera, we have Tebz. Welcome, Tebz.
Welcome, sir.
Thanks. We have Cliff over there. Thank you. Welcome, Cliff.
Welcome,
and we have
Cliff.
Tina. Hi. And then we have the
Welcome,
usual
Tina.
suspects. Xavier.
We
Brian.
need no intro.
We need no intro, right? So we actually gathered today. We like to, as we usually do, have a broad discussion about a lot of different aspects. And today I think we're speaking a little bit more about Tebz. The star of the show is Tebz, and we have a lot of people as supporting cast members. So we'd like to welcome everybody, and we'd like to maybe take a bit of time to X actually said he would like to introduce you more in depth, Tebz, since he has a lot of your you guys have shared a lot of history actually, if I could put it
background.
that way.
Yeah, so hi everyone. Myself and Tebz met in 1996 at school, Roosevelt High School. Yeah, and since then we've been friends. I know that we've done a lot of things together. School holidays we spent together. You know, we were Tebz was actually very athletic, very good in all sports. He's done everything in school. Yeah, and he just achieved a lot of things, you know, when it comes to sports here. And yeah, so we're here today, and it's just, this platform is just to create awareness, and not necessarily about Tebz, but how we can give back to society and support people, you know, with disabilities or that's struggling with certain things in life, mentally as well. Yeah.
So Tebz, I'm already very excited to hear your story. So we won't take any more time. I'm sure people are very eager to hear what your story is. So without further ado, say the stage is yours.
Yeah, sure. Hi, people. Excuse my speech. My speech is not that great, but it gets better with time. But I was like Xavier said, when we were at school, I was very athletic, and I used to play first team, everything, and just when I matriculated, after a few years after I matriculated, I then found a job at Dimension Data, and in a call center Dimension Data, and I worked there for about like 9 months. And I saved up enough money to buy a car, and I bought this Golf Velocity. Oh my word! Hot car.
Incredible car indeed. I can attest.
Big tires. It was just beautiful. And one time, my friends asked me to for because they didn't have cash, they didn't have money for taxi, and to go. I must give my love to go home, and I gave my love, and on my way back from the house, there was a four-way stop. But it was not painted yet. It was an unguarded. Well, the traffic cop calls an unguarded intersection. That paint up the four-way stop that was not painted yet. So the rule on that four-way stop, that kind of four-way stop is to yield, and whoever got there first must go first. It makes sense. And I got there first. I did yield, and I got there in the middle of the stop sign. There came a truck, a delivery truck, and a bunny delivery truck going going to Dover Bread, and it hit me on my driver's side, then dragged me for about a few meters into a brick wall. Then I was no. Then I was in a coma for a month. The bloody idiot is freaking at work now. He's married. He's having sex with the wife every night. I'm alone in bed. I'm not even married. And by now I could have a wife. Well, children, I don't want children. Children, no, idiots. I don't want kids. Kids are natural. Well, according to me, I could have a wife, a car. You know, I could be living a good life. But now some guy decided to follow the rules of a stop sign, of an unguarded stop sign, and healed on a stop sign. He just ruined my life. But according to me, when people say I'm lucky to, I must thank God, I'm lucky to be alive, I just say, guys, you guys are idiots. You guys don't know. You guys can't even empathize. You guys just empathize. Because if you're in my shoes, you only saying that. Because I lost a lot. I was fine with dying. I was fine with dying because I lost a lot. Now I have to start from the beginning. First of all, people with disabilities. People who can hire someone that speaks like me. People that speak like me and have brain injury are not given a chance to add value into the economy. And we've got so much value to add to the economy. We have a minister that works for people with disabilities, but she's just hot air. She just talks. It's all talk but no action. So we are left in the cold because there are no facilities for us. People don't care for us. If there's not for Clef and Tina, because they had given me a work opportunity to work at Clef's factory for a few months. I then at that time had self-confidence because I had saved money money to be able to buy a car, and I was growing with self-confidence. I was looking forward to even getting a girlfriend. But because they had lost a big contract, they had to reduce staff. So after that, I had to take my CV to a few companies, and I just got the door shut. I just got the door shut in my face. They didn't even see me. They just saw, they impressed with the CV but then they saw TBI, traumatic brain injury, and they just. It's going to waste their time. It's going to disability. Now we must adjust everything in a company to accommodate him. Now, no, that's going to cost the company as well. So no, we are not going to give him a chance. So I could go on to talk about this forever. But bottom line, according to me, life with a brain injury, it's just not worth living at all. Because people are idiots. So I'm going to say about South Africa. I'm going to talk about other countries, but I live in South Africa. But according to me, South Africans are idiots. Thoughts of suicide have crossed my brain so many times. They still do cross my mind so many times. But then I have the brave woman in my family. My family just made up of women. I'm the only man there. I'm the oldest man there. They just give me a lot. And if I were to kill myself, they would be devastated because they've helped me so much to get to this point, and all the work would be for nothing. So they'll be devastated. So they are the only reason that I'm still alive now. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Tebz, for that story. It's very touching and very sad at the same time. But we really do appreciate it because it's very necessary as well. Because I mean, for someone like you who've actually been through a lot, I think there's many people like you as well, as you would have mentioned, that you kind of like felt a bit undone by the support from the government, in terms of people in similar situation as you. But I think I also took something from you that Tina and Cliff were there to actually give you an opportunity where every door was actually shutting on you. So Tina, maybe take us through, how did you get to meet Tebz?
We, Cliff and I have got.
Put it very close to your mouth.
Cliff and I have got 2 sons. The oldest of our sons was hit by a car when he was at school still, about 16. And so we lived through the whole time with him, with being in a coma, having his whole life and future changed, very fearful. We were lucky that we were in a position to give him a lot of assistance and help. And he eventually got a matric, a very bad matric. And he's actually made something fantastic of his life. But part of our realization and change in life came when we actually realized that he was, that this happened to lots of people. And lots of them were not in a situation like us. And lots of them couldn't be lucky like Grant. So I decided to go and work at Headway. I had done psychology and coaching, life coaching and things, and I still am involved in that. So I've met lots of people with stories like Tebz. He's an exceptional character, so I'm not going to take away from that. And he's very articulate, as you heard. He thinks he isn't, but he's very articulate in telling a story and explaining what it's like for him. And I have just watched him grow over the time that I've known him in so many ways, but his frustration with things like the lack of assistance from the government, for example, and from other people has actually been very, very hard for him indeed. But the other thing is that people like Tebz, they think they are less than they are. And my job and my feeling is to try and remind them how special they are and to push their boundaries and introduce them to new subjects and make them think out the box. And I have some things I always used to tease Tebz about, asking a girl out for coffee, and it was the weekly joke.
That's never gonna happen.
But he is more shy of himself, in my opinion, than he ought to be. But he is comparing with you guys and with where he was before. And I'm comparing with when I first met him, where I actually thought that he had headphones attached to his head, because he used to just have headphones on all the time. He wouldn't talk, he wouldn't interact with anybody. And boy, has he come far. He really is a lovely guy to know, and it's been a privilege to work with him. And head-injured people just don't get enough support and acceptance from normal people, or definitely not from the government at all. So, anyway, so really, that's my story. Yeah.
It's interesting that you said that, and I well, about everything, because I wasn't very specific and articulate as Tebz is. But what you spoke about regarding the assumption that we have, or that certain people have of themselves, that they are lesser. And I actually listened to, I think he's a psychiatrist that was speaking, addressing, I think it was a TED talk at one time, and he spoke about what the average person would have these thoughts about themselves that may actually be incorrect. And I actually was thinking about myself. I'm like, okay, I'm not able to do A, B, and C. And someone else would be like, but why would you say that? Because I've seen you doing it, and you're exceptional at it. So it's not just a singular case of like a person that had some form of injury, but I think generally speaking, to some extent, we as people have this perception about ourselves in some cases that we're not good enough to some extent.
So I just wanted to find out, we know that after your brain injury, what actually happens is, I'm getting a sense where people start going into a shell, right? And what we're actually trying to do basically is obviously for people in your position to come out of that shell as well, and to look at, I got what you said in terms of people trying to basically telling you that you're lucky to be alive. I think, like, if you look at your support system from Tina and Cliff, as well as your family, I mean, they really supported you,
And they see value as well.
they see value in you. So what our main focus is obviously to also integrate people back into society. We know it's definitely a huge project, but the little that we can do, would obviously make a difference.
But society has to be willing to freaking accept. Society isn't willing to I just bloody frustrating, and I'm frustrated when I talk about the subject because it hit me deep mad, because South Africans are not willing to accept people with disabilities or anyone. So I think that they only understand they can't even empathize. They only understand something when it happens to them. Let's say for example, if it happens to your child, then you understand that, hey, this is for real, and my child needs to be given a chance. So I think this ability has to happen to someone. Someone. Let's give for an example. Let's for someone comes to Sangamaposa's child needs to have a traumatic brain injury for him to know how people with traumatic brain injuries go through, how they need to be integrated in society, how they need to be given opportunities. Because we can all do lot of things, lot of things, but just need to be given. We just need to be given the opportunity. I'm not saying I'm intelligent. I'm far from being intelligent. But
you are. You are intelligent.
I just need to be given the opportunity to prove myself. Yes. I can't do what I did before with computers, but I can do other skills. Give me the opportunity to do other skills. I can do them. But government is all talk, no action, and the private sector as well, all talk, no action. So I really don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's my point.
And if we may ask then, Cliff, with Tebz saying that he's worked with you as well, how was that experience like, and what value did he add at the times where he actually worked alongside? And if there's more details around what it was about, what the project was, maybe.
I think it's very interesting, because obviously, when Tebz came into the business, everybody was made aware that he'd had an injury and he had an accident. And there was no secret about it.
Yes.
But as he says, I felt that there was always this we and them.
Yeah.
So he was my protected man where that wasn't correct. He threw himself into the business. It was hard because it was manual labor. It was working in a factory of a textile industry, picking up things, carrying things.
Yeah.
Etc., etc. But first of all, after a period of time, his character tells you that people like him. That's important.
Yes.
The reality that he accepted, and I think it's so important that I say this with respect, that he underplays himself. We should be looking in with admiration.
Yes.
In his acceptance of where he is. And in fact, if he would go on the circuit today as a motivational speaker,
yes,
people would listen.
Sorry, Cliff. Also, just to your point, Tebz, when you said that maybe it's here in South Africa only, because if you look at in other countries like America, TED Talk, they do invite people with disabilities to come and actually motivate people about their stories. Do we have those platforms here? I don't know, because maybe I might have not been in that situation, But I did like that point as well, that you raised, Cliff. You may continue.
No, I think the realization that he's achieved so much, as Tina said, from where he was, and I think going back to the unfairness of what transpired, we can harp about the government and the useless structures of the road accident funds and all of that stuff as much as we like, but it's absolutely up to the individual, and I think he's an example of somebody who's gone further and not thrown himself under the bus, as he puts it.
Yeah.
You know, looked for that opportunity. There is a definite need for people to be given that break and to be able to prove, hey, as an example, in our business, when he came, his previous experience was data capturing. I'd hoped that's something we could have done together. We couldn't get it right. We tried.
Yeah.
It was tough. And unfortunately, just because of the industry, because of the circumstances that we all live in, it's a situation of last in, first out.
Yeah.
And that's tough, and that's where we are. But that's not the end of our life together.
Yeah.
So I think that, but I still stress the fact that you can't underplay what a strong character and a strong personality is, and is an inspiration.
Yeah.
Exactly that, and I thank you for sharing that with us as well. Tina, if you may ask as well, from a coaching perspective or therapy type of perspective, not only for Tebz, but I'm also putting myself in that position. Like I was saying earlier, the example that I made, what type of intervention then would come about having a sit down session? How would that look like?
Do you know, it's very interesting because with Headway, I didn't do a lot of one-on-one things, and I still don't with them. Because I found, and I think you did too, that the group sessions worked really fantastically. It brought out the best of things. For example, I was once looking for a topic, and I thought, well, what can we do it? Can you remember what your topic was?
That I chose.
Yes.
No.
Okay. So he wanted to do about how people get together in groups and actually right throughout the whole world. And he went along the idea of Africa, the African way of doing it, where people work in tribes and are accepted much more than that. And we did so much work on exactly that. So we looked at what he wanted to, the Ubuntu, to see where it started and how much it did for people. I cannot tell you how fascinating that was, what the people in that group came out with and what you came out with about it. It was just actually amazing.
Yeah.
I learned more from that than I'd ever known.
Because it's so cross-cultural.
It is cross-cultural. But the other thing is that there are two things that we all struggle with. And I think that head-injured people feel it more than us. And the one is that the world is changing all the time. So even with Teb's job of data capturing, that doesn't exist in that form anymore. You know what I mean? The world and computers and things have changed so much that you can't keep looking back at that. You have to look at, is there a space in today's world for me? There's something different I can do. And what you guys are doing with like a podcast and things, there are people who I listen to up, and there's a guy, I don't know if you know him, Andrew Huberman. If you listen to his podcast, you learn every single time. He's fascinating. He's actually a lecturer in the States, but he deals with all different subjects and intensity, and he is actually quite superb. Now, people like Tebz should actually be given the floor more often to explain what it's like for him. And it's not just him. It's people like Anton. It was like Brian. Sure, we can't talk well enough to do that. But these are smart people. They're people who I really enjoy spending time with. I used to choose, and I still do, I choose fascinating subjects. It can be about, give me an example, Cliff, of change, or of kindness, or of threats, or all different things. And it's the guys get so involved, and their perspectives are different to anything that I come across in magazines, papers, or anything else.
I think that one of the most enjoyable things from the outside, because I'm not involved in Headway, was to see the brotherhood, the sort of comradeship that I saw as an outsider looking in to, let's say, a dozen people that really got quite close and sometimes quite intense with each other. And sometimes they were English, they were Afrikaans, they were people of color, they were everything possible in one bundle, and it became close. I found that.
That is so amazing because sorry, when I was thinking about this whole topic and thinking about the brain, when you look at a brain, it doesn't distinguish from color or anything like that. And injuries as well, there's no discrimination against that. injuries can happen to anyone. That's what I mean. Not that there's no discrimination. We know that, and this is one of the reasons why we actually wanted to have this session, is actually to, like Xavier said, just create that awareness, and also to understand how we can play a role in supporting each other. Because like Tebz was saying, sorry Tebz, just to add to that, like you're saying, that people wouldn't understand unless it happened to someone close to you, as a relative or a friend or anything like that. But then we find ourselves sometimes in a situation where we, as Tina also said, we people didn't have the resources or don't have the background to understand how to deal with this. And I think this was the ideal platform where we can get from your perspective as to the experiences that you've had, and also how much the input of Tina and Cliff has had in getting you to this phase, and then also from Tina's side, like what interventions had to what type of interventions were put in place. And that's why we are, just to get more of those details, Tebz, and to stand together with you to let you know that it's not just, you standing out there alone on the mountaintop and nobody else is there to stand with you. There's a lot of people that are there, and I think it's just a matter of maybe lack of understanding.
Yeah, and what before I forgot, I love you guys, but broadly love.
Yes.
Or what would you guys for what I'm hoping is that this what we're doing here, this podcast gets through to as many people as it can, because we need to spread the word. We need to spread the word, and I hope it gets to also people with influence, people that can do something, people with money, because it's pointless if it gets to someone in a foreign house in Soweto or in Alex. What they don't have the money to hold down the power to do anything. Now what? Because they can't push anyone for awareness. They can host like a seminar to what I'm saying is I hope it gets to a common minister or someone in government who has the power, who has the influence to try people to do something about it.
Yeah.
Can I add something to that? I think
Yes,
the realization at some stage at one of the events that Headway had, somebody said something, and they said that people don't think this can ever happen to them.
Yeah.
True.
And whatever happens as you walk out of here, as you drive out of here, as you get into the nearest taxi or whatever, that night, it can be your life.
Yeah.
So whatever you can do now to influence, to help,
Do it.
is the time to do it.
Yeah.
Tebz, you said something that I really liked. You spoke a lot about realism, and I'm just going to steer the conversation a bit away from you to now us. We are a very small platform at the moment as we are expanding, right? But at no point do we see ourselves as less valuable because of viewership and all of that. So when I look at your situation, I look at the people around you. You may not have 50,000 people supporting you, but 2 people supporting you is enough. We have valuable views from people that literally sit down and listen to our content, and for us, that's enough. If we can speak to 50 million people, good. But if we can touch one person. So the point that I'm trying to make here is you also need to be true to yourself, right? So you looking at yourself as though you are not good enough or there's not enough confidence. You've got everyone around you. All of us here are looking at you like this man has true power. Right, we're looking at you like, I mean, you stand out of a group of people in your situation, because you are not just sitting there and saying that I'm going to accept me for who I am. You want to touch people out there. You've got this strong support around you, whether it's Tina, Cliff and your family and other guys as well. It may not be the government, but that's enough as well. It can take you a long way. So if you look at things from that perspective, you'll realize that you have much more power.
Yeah, but what I was alluding to is that this platform now it's pointless if gonna reach like one person in Alex. No, that person's not gonna do anything. I'm fit.
If it changes their life, it's important.
But that person does not have influence. That person cannot do anything meaningful. Cannot do anything meaningful. But if it reaches someone, so let's say a CEO, the CEO can anything, guys? That's my child coming home drunk driving. It's not gonna work. We must listen to. You must listen to this. You must listen to. You must listen to this podcast and listen to how this guy struggles because of a car accident. This guy was not. I was not drunk. It's just that, and it hit me with a truck. Bad luck. I didn't die. It's part of how it's part of life. I would prefer to die. But I didn't die. I prefer to die other than go through what I'm going through right now. Hey, but I didn't die. So, but it's part of life that my child can learn to this and see drunk driving, that how it affects someone's life. So my child will listen and stop drinking and stop driving drunk.
Reckless driving. But you see now, today you are here, right? You are here to save more lives. And that's what's important, because you see, when you had those suicidal ideations, right? And then your family said, no, we can't survive without you. That's some form of responsibility. They look at you as their hero. And today you're about to save a lot of people out there.
Yeah, you don't know.
With your story.
Like you've mentioned about this message going out to someone in Alex. Who knows that they might also be influential in their community.
Vicinity.
You get what I'm saying? Someone that has a disability, and you must remember that the disability that they have, they might be more positive and go out there and really make a change within their community. And it spreads like fire, and it goes to another community until it gets bigger. So our message here is just basically to say that you're special to all of us, right?
Yes.
We love you, right? And yeah, we definitely going to continue doing this type of work, reaching people, and we're definitely going to have you back again, right? This is a platform where you can reach people. This is a platform where might change your life as well. Have you thought of being a motivational speaker as well?
Yeah,
you can.
I think someone mentioned
you
that.
can. You can definitely.
You've just done it.
Yeah.
But
You must just
listen.
listen. You just need to your you see. I see how big you are, and we know we speak. Me and you. Your testosterone level must just come down, because I'm just playing. I'm kidding with you.
And but see, people are not educated enough in the country to want to listen to someone like me. This guy. No, it's not. No, people must be willing to learn.
Another point is, people are not willing to listen. So you make them listen. You make them listen. If the door doesn't open, go behind. Go through the back door. You have the power now.
You need to start talking to people who are most likely to have accidents like you. I know it wasn't your fault, and that's got nothing to do with it, nor is it our son's fault.
Yes.
But young men, especially over those years of driving too fast, of drinking, and they need to be more aware of what damage they can do to somebody in somebody else's life. And they don't ever think that. And that's why it's so important. The more that you talk about it, the better. So for Tebz to do something, like if we managed to organize for you to talk at a school, would you do it?
Yeah.
Okay. But then I'm going to do it.
At high school, at high school, not primary, but at high school, but have the kids. I was at high school with this guy. At high school, they came and spoke to us like most of the, like 8 or 10 times. We don't listen. This guy. Kids are not like kids. Teenagers think they know. They think they know best, and they know anything about anything. So some of them will listen, but most won't listen.
But Tebz, let me tell you something. you know, when you've heard something from someone, and we all know this from our parents, when a parent tells you or warns you against something or cautions you against something, and then you go against that advice and then you burn, when you sit down and reminisce, you'll think, she told me or he told me this. That is where now you actually come to the actual value of the lesson, right? So it may not be now, it may be later on, it may be after the fact, but you've done your job, because someone is going to sit and reflect and say, this person warned me against this, and look what happened now.
And they will talk to other people.
And they will talk to other people as well. I mean, we hear a lot of stories about people saying that I ignored some advice that I got from someone, and look where it got me now. It doesn't mean that they never really listened. It's stuck there, but then it was not utilized at a functional level. Right? So don't maybe get too caught up in the detail. Like, if you share a message, that's enough. That's enough. It's going to make the difference. I can rest assure you.
And there's one other point, if I can add, and if you did that, and there was one young guy who didn't injure somebody, he'd save lives. Just one guy that didn't drive home drunk.
That's great.
And you know what, to your point, Tina, I think I did enjoy what you said about obviously just sending a message to those people as well, that actually the perpetrators now of this, you know, because in Tebz' defense, like, he wasn't doing anything wrong. He was not drunk. He was sober. He was giving his friends a lift, a gesture of goodwill. We always talk about a gesture of goodwill in this show. And look where it got him, right? Because a person was reckless, right? And also, I mean, like, you made your points clear that the person is living his best life, and you would have had the decent life as well. That will change how people actually view the signs of the road as well, like how they actually drive, you know. So it's very important. I myself I'm learning as you tell your stories. I'm just learning from it as well. So you've touched me, certainly. I can assure you, you've touched me with your story.
I think also while driving here, myself and Maurice we were actually speaking, and we were just speaking about patience. And I know I'm not a very patient person. I'm impatient, and that's also some type of learning for me, you know, in terms of we've been friends for many years,
96.
and so I'm not going to say it's a condition or whatever, but when you speak, this is some type of learning for me to allow you to speak Finnish, you know, and that, like, in terms of patience, you know, I start looking at myself, and I'm like, you know, because I would normally finish someone's sentence, but now it's also learning for me, where I have to be patient, you know. So with this whole platform and everything that has been said here, we're taking away a lot of learnings here as well.
May I add something? Did you know that there's not a single person who's had any kind of a TBI who only affects themselves? Their family, their friends, everybody learns from it and everybody accepts it. And if you look at the support that Tebz has from his ladies, his mum and his sisters and things, it's astonishing. I mean, really, they didn't ask for you as a responsibility. And that's why you make your life so much. And they adore you. They all love you to bits.
And let me
They
say,
give you everything.
and let me say, I think in that only females can do that. Men, I don't think men can have that soft side to do that. I think I'm very blessed to be born in a family where I'm surrounded by mostly women. Because men, I don't think men, if there's men, they would have said, they could afford it. Let's just put him in a home and let's leave him. He's been taken care of in a home. But my mom said to pick me up from the hospital, bring me and give me a bath. Or if they give me a bath, feed me when I can't feed myself, give me a bath, and the alternative for my mom to my aunt, they came and looked after me because I stayed with my sister when she worked for SAA, so she was gone for like 7 days. They would come to the house, stay and sleep there for 7 days. Sleep with me for at my house in another room, and I'm in another room for 7 days, and then wake me up, give me a bath, and feed me, and just take care of him, come me. Just the only female can do that. Men won't.
No, you know what? If I think of Cliff's contribution to Grant, he offered completely different things that I could. He was much stronger with it. Grant had always been a good runner. And I thought, okay, he won't be able to manage in his balance. He'd been very clever and he couldn't learn. So we each had our own roles. You know what I mean? I pushed him on the learning and very much on the social side. But Cliff was quite determined to get him to do whatever he could physically and, I don't know, have fun and get out there. Hey, do you want to say something? No. Yeah. Because, and so it's not just women. In your instance, I think that you got the lucky draw, yeah. But I think that men add a tremendous amount, and it's also because they spread the word. So, you know, for example, we have a fundraising golf day every year, and we try to organize that no golfers, because they do drink too much afterwards, could drive home. Everybody had to either get Ubers or drivers that were organized for them. You want to know how difficult men are about something like that? But yeah, it's like schoolboys. They are 45 and they can't accept any advice. But I tell you something, after the Headway one, they had heard these guys. Tebz stood up and gave a speech, different ones, the people, and we had games and introductions and things. They all knew what the right thing was to do. That thing made an influence on every one of those guys. Don't you think so? Yeah.
And I hope they spread the word as well. They don't just keep losing them. They spread the word as well. You just need someone to spread the word, and we just need to be given a platform to spread the word. Let's say, like on the news instead of spending a big chunk on sports. Give just a small section to people to speak who then can speak about something that can affect them. Change topics every time. Talk about AIDS, talk about TBI, talk about rape, talk about suicide. Change topic every time, but that topic needs to be something that affects someone's life.
Do you know? I'll just say one quick thing. There's a big problem with the way that accidents are reported in this country, because we hear about road deaths, but we do not hear about the damaged survivors. And there is no information about that at all. Accident. Yeah, just say. So my point is that I've often tried to find out where you can find that information. Nobody keeps it, I think. So it's being ignored. That's something that anybody who's listening who could help with that would actually be fascinating, and just even to think about it.
And that's what you are saying about me going to school. Now that I've been sitting here, I've given a serious thought. I think that would be a good platform, because catch them when they're still young.
Yeah.
Catch them when they're still young. So they don't grow with those attitude, driving fast or driving drunk. Catch them while they're young. That's the consequences. You will die, or you will be on a wheelchair, or you will affect someone's life. So you put someone on a wheelchair, or you kill someone. Yeah. So if we can try and in a way make that happen, I'm willing to go. So I know I can't articulate myself properly, but I hope in the near future, and if those kids hear me talk like that, this will put the fear of God in them, that they must choose right.
Tebz, I just want to maybe flip the script a bit and find out. So, what do you normally do socially? You know, in your spare time?
because most of the time I have a bunch of cool homeboys. My mom boys are cool. No, they also married. I'm saying they also married. For kids and families. They have to spend time with the better half. But they do make time for me to go watch a game or let's go chill at someone's house. Let's do something to accommodate Tebz, or let's do something. Have a break, guys, and let's chill together. That's my spare time.
I know that you. I also know that you gym every day, as well as you've mentioned that you fetch the kids from school, driving. And how's that again? How has it been getting into a car again?
Yeah, that's another thing. Because I just love driving. So I'm cool. I'm cool with driving. But the point of that is my family also see value in me to use me to go fetch the kids, take the kids to school, and just do something valuable in the family. So I go back to the fact of saying those brave moments are just boss.
And how important is it, Tina, as well from a professional perspective in terms of exercising and staying healthy, eat the right type of diet as well to the recovery process? What do people actually need to be doing in certain situations like Tebz?
It's the same as everybody else. You've got to eat carefully. You drink lots of water, all that sort of thing. But the problem is that when your brain has been injured, forgetting and having no memory and not remembering what you're meant to be doing is very, very important. So a lot of people who live in homes and things, their food and their things are not ideal. So it's because they're expensive, and the homes are expensive, there's not enough money. But we used to talk quite a lot about it here. There was a chap that we spoke about who used to talk, his name was somebody Eden, and he would actually talk about eating for energy and walking for energy. And that sort of thing is really, really important. People that I know with TBIs who in homes, they will often get porridge 3 times a day. Now, that's actually not okay. We all know that that's not okay. And the only way that they can cope with that is if they do lots of water and lots of exercise as well. But, if you're having porridge 3 times a day, you don't feel like doing anything.
Exactly.
Nor does your mind feel like doing anything. But it's a very important aspect to look after.
And then also with regards to like the support, sorry about that. How easy is it to actually get trained professionals to actually reach out and have sessions where you could actually talk about these things and get the type of advice needed to walk through this journey, basically?
Do you know, one of the biggest things about that is that most people who've had TBIs do not have a lot of access to spare money. And so that to get good coaches and of all different kinds and group therapy and things is actually very hard. So Headway, for example, there was a daily fee, but it was very little. And a lot of people collected, and we had lots of events and things to actually raise money for that. And that, I think, is the only way that you can do it, because people would come there and then get stimulated and eat well. But you have to be so careful about just about your general health.
Yes.
Yeah.
And please, my just Tina and Clem, please, but I put this to you to always be associated with never stop being associated with Headway, please. just please keep because I've seen the value you've put in my life. I would like the same value that you guys have put in my life to put in someone's life as well. And that someone's life will put in someone, and then it will have a snowball effect. But it started with you guys, and you guys will touch a lot more life, because you have definitely touched my life. I'll remind you guys to take the last breath. That's the impact that you've had in my life. So I thank you very much.
Yeah.
But also I think we need to also give or we need to give a huge thank you to Tina and Cliff for actually being a testament that we as a society can also like do things ourselves and not maybe depend on the government, you know. Like if I'm hearing like what you guys have done with Tebz, it's very inspiring, you know. And if we as society could start looking at things like that and not have this huge dependency on the government, because oftentimes the government is just not there, you know, to do the heavy lifting where it's needed. But you guys have actually shown that as society we can do it, whether it's within your profession or what. But from that perspective, it's really touching, you know. So a huge thank you, guys. I do appreciate it.
You know, one of the biggest things that made an impact on me, we did, I think that you were with us, Tebz, when we went to a shopping center one day. And quite a few of the guys and girls have got visible injuries. Either they walk badly, or they've had an injured face, or an arm that doesn't work and things. And we walked around Hyde Park on the top level, and you want to see the lengths that people go to not have to look at you, or they dodge. They'll go into a shop and they wait till you go past.
Yeah.
But the minute these guys started interacting, so if a person was coming towards them and looked uncomfortable and they said, hello, or it's a cold day, or hi, or anything, the ice was broken. People don't know. We don't know what to do when we see a person who's different to us.
Yes.
And it was such an amazing thing, because somebody like, there was a girl, Sherry, who struggles and she really moves very badly, but she's very, very bright. She also speaks badly. But when she would walk, you would literally see it was like a path. People just moved off in every direction. But when she greeted them, think of it at the golf. We had her as the meet and greet person at the golf with you. And everybody who came in had to acknowledge her, because she was there saying hello. And I think lots of the guys found it a bit awkward, but they wouldn't find it awkward the next time. They've done it once, you know. So that's really important.
That's an interesting share. So Tebz, how would you like people to look at you, or how would you like people to treat you? And anyone who's in your situation, obviously.
Well, I can trust this. What more? First of all, respect me, and empathize. No, that's what Tina is. What she came up with the good concept from her. Ubuntu is like, do what you, in a nutshell, is do unto others as you like them to do unto you. You know, if no, don't send me if you don't want me to slap you. And just if people can just do that, like do unto others as you like them to do unto you. So I just want people to treat me with respect
and dignity.
And dignity.
So just one last question on my side, Tebz. Now, just going forth now, would you be open, if there are people that are reaching out to you out there now, would you be open to have that dialogue?
Of course. Anything to get the message out there. Anything to be able to make people aware that this is killing our nation. This is killing our country. We need to think before we do something. Think before we speak. Think before we vote. Not just vote. Don't just vote for no. Don't just vote for anyone. Think and think of the consequences of that vote as well. Because what you that consequence will affect your kids, your grandkids, and your neighbor and other people as well. So think before we do anything. That's my parting shot.
In closing, on my side as well, thank you very much, Tina and Cliff. And this is paradise. Thank you, Tebogo, for the opportunity. And yeah, we look. This is not the last. We definitely going to engage more with you on other topics as well. Yeah.
Just on my side, in closing, I want to say that Tina in Cliff's house has been very frustrating because it's beautiful every which way. So when we're trying to set up, we just didn't know where to set up. So thank you guys. You've been very warm to us, and again, a token of appreciation for what you've done for Tebz. It's truly inspirational, as I would have said earlier on. So continue doing the hard work. It may not reach the broader scale, but in due time it will, and you will be rewarded heavily for that. So thank you very much. Appreciate. Thank you, Tebz, for sharing your story. You are changing lives today, I'm telling you.
And thank you, Tina and Club, for hosting us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.